Welcome to Crash Culture. I'm your host, Joseph Bam Smith, but you already knew that. Today we got a host of topics that we're going to get into. Some of them we already covered on the YouTube channel at Crash Culture TV. But, I had a couple ways that I was thinking about going with that. And it didn't dawn on me until I thought about it over and over and over again. I say to myself, you already have a podcast that's been going on. You're already 4 episodes in. Why would you try to take that and turn that into a YouTube channel? It's like a lazy way of taking your brand to a new level. So I said, you know what? That's a good idea, self. I say, so how about, we do the podcast separate from the YouTube channel, and if we feel like it, we can air the previous episodes on YouTube, or we could keep this trend going of keeping them on your many different podcasting platforms. I don't know which one I might do at the end of the day. I'm kind of a guy that once I get to that point where I see that this is getting more traction than that, then I'll make it more available. But right now, I felt like I got a good thing going with the podcast, so we're going to leave it on here. Let me start off by saying, how you doing out there, ladies and gentlemen, girls and guys and whatnot? Today, I want to get into the BET Awards. Like I said, we covered that before on the YouTube channel, but I want to cover it some more. Like I said, Nipsey's mother, the speech that she gave, was next level spiritual. You know what I'm saying? She was talking to this guy, talking about we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. I felt that. But her talking about the woman that was heavy busted and this, that, and the third. And I felt like that's what I felt like she lost me a little bit there, but she lost a lot of people like from the beginning. But she's now coping with her son's murder, in which this man was such a massive icon in such a short time, and he has so much greatness and potential to live out. And I'm pretty sure that's pretty apparent to her and the rest of his family. And the only thing she could think is like, you know what? Somebody murdered him. This was an assassination, because this man was going to do things like on Tupac's level, and he wasn't afraid of it. And the way, the time leading up to his death, and which seemed a little bit weird to me now that I look back at it, like Higher was the last song like he did, like for real. And that's kind of like a gospel-like song almost. You know what I'm saying? And the whole vibe of it, it was like, it's like Tupac with changes and into the end of time. And Biggie, Dying to Live, and all of these songs these rappers made, and it kind of give you like an eerie feeling. Even with Biggie's album Ready to Die and all of this stuff, it gave you like an eerie ass feeling, like these guys knew something was going to happen to them sooner or later because of the level of gangster they had with them and the truth that they spoke. You know what I'm saying? It's bound. They was like, man, all the other black leaders in history, this has happened to them, so it's a trend. Something's going to happen to me, and it's going to be made to look like, just a typical killing, just somebody typically getting murdered due to gang violence and whatnot. But if this had been a white guy, an extremely powerful and iconic and impactful white guy, let's just say, who's a white guy that's impactful in music? I'm not talking about hip hop. Eminem, he might get a similar response as Nipsey. I'm talking about like a country guy. You know what I'm saying? Or a country girl. Let's say Taylor Swift. That's like the only name I know from country music. Take Taylor Swift, for instance. Let's take a guy version of her or whatnot, or let's just take her, for example. If something were to happen to her due to gang violence, do you not know they would flood the streets of whatever area this happened at with police? It would be stricter legislation on gun laws and all type of crazy shit. Do you not understand the impact with an assassination or a murder of her, like, you can't attribute it to the same things that you can attribute stuff that happened to black people to. And that whole thing about that, to me, is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? And Nipsey mother felt like that whole incident, or the whole thing surrounding her son's death, everything about it is fishy. Everything about it is suspect. And I feel her on that. You know what I'm saying? And I respect her for, like I say, getting up there, having the strength to talk about it. Like I said before. But after that, you know, the performances by the artists in tribute to Nipsey, Marsha Ambrosia, that was a great performance. Higher was a great performance. And like I said on Crash Culture TV, or like my friend Rashad said, my co-host Rashad said, like, he don't know what the hell YG was doing. I felt like I didn't know what the hell YG was doing too, a little bit. Like, his energy that he was giving wasn't really there. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was going in and out with the mic, and then he had two guys up there. I'm sure they were Nipsey friends, or they was friends of YG and Nipsey, but nobody knew who the hell they was. And like I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, if Snoop Dogg would have got up there in place of Nipsey and performed the song, that would have been more iconic to me. That would have been amazing to me. That would have like blew the roof off of the tribute to Nipsey Hussle, and that would have been like the best performance of the night. You know what I'm saying? Just stand in place of him. I'm not saying like he gotta be him, or he gotta know the words or sound like Nipsey. Hell, he could do his own little bar to it. You feel me? But just to have him up there as a symbol of Nipsey, because he reminds so many people, or Nipsey reminded so many people of him, you know, it would have been great. You see me? So yeah, that's really how I feel about that. You know, long live King Nip, R.I.P., or rest in power, that man. And like his mom said before, his physical body may have died, but his spiritual baby was being born. His spirit is being reborn into this universe, because he has such a great and impactful spirit, and he is an inspiration to me. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, why it gave me the confidence to do all of the things that I wanted to do. I've always had the talent and ability to create, and seeing a man like him with his knowledge and wisdom to go along with all of the many influences we have in our black community, it just gave me the confidence to just like do it, because that's all he talked about in all of the interviews. Me being a fan of him, listening to him, you know, and being a fan of Tupac and listening to Tupac, like, they was like all about action, you know what I'm saying? And that really give you confidence, you know, just seeing young black men do it, coming from the same situation, give you confidence. Well, yeah, that was really, I really applaud BET for that, giving them that tribute / celebration. They even made the carpet blue instead of red, you know what I'm saying? In honor of him. That was cool. He have a beautiful family too. They got some great genetics, because his sister, oh my God, she is beautiful, bro. Samantha, she is beautiful, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not no perverted kind of way like Kodak, you know what I'm saying? Even though that's his sister, they ain't his wife or his wifey or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not going to put that in my mind to be like in perverted ways talking about his sister. I have respect for him and his family still to this day, and will always have respect for him and his family to this day. Yeah. Next, I want to talk about the other performances that went on in the BET Awards, like which one was the best out of them. Oh, but first let me talk about the Tyler Perry speech that he gave for his I think it was a Lifetime Achievement Award, something like that, some award. I think it was Lifetime Achievement, I'm not sure, double check. But Tyler Perry got up there and he accepted this award, and he gave such a powerful speech, and he's another inspiring black icon. You know, he was talking about he helping other people cross with just the things that he was doing. And it was really amazing how he got up there and he spoke, and the things he was saying. And to me, it just made it all the more sweeter with the whole thing being a celebration of Nipsey's life, that Tyler Perry would get up there and talk about his path and how he's trying to inspire all of these black children and stuff like that, and young men and women. So, yeah. But coming up on the next part of the segment, I'm going to talk more about the rest of the performances, the highlights of the night, and, you know, just the general stuff from BET. And then we're going to get into the next segment where I'm going to talk about all of these racial injustices that still plague our community and solutions to these things that we could come up with and we could think about. Not to be outdone by some of my reviews on some of the new movies that we got coming out, because it's like we going back in the future to the 90s again, and this stuff is crazy. Yeah, but that's coming up on the next segment of Crash Culture, the podcast show. All right, more thoughts on the performances from the night from the BET Awards. The Migos are the first thing that comes to mind because of that song Pure Water being such a big hit, and that set design, like I said in the YouTube episode of Crash Culture. Like I'm almost at a loss for words with like the water coming down. Like I don't know how the hell they did that. If somebody know how they did that, can you please tell me? Send me a DM on Instagram at BamBenno. It was amazing to me to see all of that stuff coming down like that. And then Cardi and Offset's performance, where Offset's doing the break dancing and all of that. That was really, really cool. So the Migos really outdid themselves in their performances on the night. What else was cool about the night? What other performances? Lil Nas X performances was cool. Even though the country people that don't like him, you know, took his song off the country billboards, you know, because we still live in a racist country, you know. That's the thing about America that's never gonna go away, and it's now more apparent than ever, you know, about systemic racism, racial biases, and all of the things. Like, this is the ugly thing that we as a country have been trying to run away from for so long, but it pops up every time. It's like that ugly ex-girlfriend that'll never go away until we deal with it. We embrace it and deal with it. You know, it's just gonna keep on popping up all over the place. And Lil Nas X deserved to be on the hip-hop billboards and the country billboards, because that song is a blend. It's a crossover song of hip-hop and country. At first I thought it was a joke, and it was like a cool, funny joke. But that beat hit, and then he got Billy Ray Cyrus on it to certify it as a country song. So, you know, like, I don't agree with what they did with the Young Man's song and taking it off the country charts, but he's still getting paid. He's still making money. I don't know if he's going to be a one-hit wonder or he's going to come out with more crossover music like that or whatnot, whatever he's going to do. But I wish him all the best in his career, his young career right now. Other performances that highlighted the night. Who else? Those are the ones that blew me away. Those are the ones that really kind of blew me away. I don't know how many of them were like highlights of the night. Like, when it come, those are the only ones that come to the top of my head. And Regina Hall's performance. Regina Hall's performance with Taraji P. Henson. And, that was fire. That was fire. They opening monologue with that. Like, that was really, really cool. You know, I don't know if it's an open monologue or a mid-show because I only watched the highlights of the show. But that was really, really cool. And, you know, Regina Hall got a fat ass, bro. Taraji P. Henson got a fat ass, but Regina Hall got a fat ass and some big tits. You know, that was really, yeah, Regina Hall, my new crush. You know, I used to have a celebrity crush on Halle Berry, you know, and Halle Berry kind of, you know, got really, really old. Regina Hall doesn't look that old. I used to have a crush on what's her name? The one from Friday. Damn, it's been that long. I even forgot her name, bruh. She ain't been coming out with no movies in a minute. Nia Long. I used to have a crush on her too. One female that'll never go away from me is Rihanna. Until Rihanna, like, you know, like, until she start to fall off, which I doubt that, because she's into beauty and she's into fashion, so I doubt her looks start to fall off. But Rihanna's gonna be always number one on top of the list. You know, even though she gets a bad rap for all of the men that she dated and whatnot, and this, that, and the third. I ain't gonna say most. All straight men in general would love to be with Rihanna. You gotta, like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's Rihanna, bro. But anyways, yeah, that's it when it comes to that. Like I said, BET Awards was real cool, man. Real cool, especially because they made it a celebration of Nipsey Hussle's life. So, yeah, I really like that. Moving on to the next topic. Yeah, there's a lot of racial injustices that go on in America. Today is no different than the next. You know, you got black men who are accused of rape and getting sentenced to 12 years in prison, while you got white guys like Brock Turner getting off scot-free. And you got other black men who are literally innocent. And, you know, it's like on the eve of Emmett Till, you know, on the anniversary of Emmett Till's death, we still got this going on 50 years later. You know, it just proves that not a lot has changed. You know, even Trump, you know, being in the White House is just like a representation of how much America don't really give a fuck about what goes on. And in our, like we covered in our Juneteenth episode, they won't really acknowledge the impacts of slavery and segregation and Jim Crow and all of these other things systemically that have happened to the black community have a great impact on us still to this day. You know, America doesn't want to recognize that and try to really amend it. They have apologized for it. America has apologized for it, but how far does an apology go? If I break your leg right now, if I break your motherfucking leg and I tell you I'm sorry afterward, is that gonna fix my leg? Or is time and spending money going to a doctor gonna fix my leg? Me spending my own money and put my own time equity into this, and then the bone might never heal back the same, because once you broke something, you're gonna always have pain in it. You talking to a guy that broke a lot of bones, so I know once you break something, you're gonna always have pain there. So you don't think once you broke the black community and the black home into a million different pieces, a million different ways, and you continue to do it over hundreds of years, you don't think that we gonna still feel it? You fucking insane. But, you know, it is what it is at this point. We still have to work on building our own community and building our own power base. And this is how our voices get heard in these many different ways, on these many different platforms, because there are a lot of cases and a lot of incidents of police brutality going on every day. There's a lot of cases of how the system is biased to white men that commit the same crimes as black people. You know, over 40% of the prison population is African Americans. You know what I'm saying? While we only make up 18% of the United States population. You know, and that's facts from today. You know what I'm saying? This is not like what happened in the past. This is what going on today. You know, so like, and it's like almost like we don't really care. Like it's insane. If it don't really affect us, like if Joe Blow and Susie Q, if the things that go on in reality today and what goes on around this country today, if it don't have a real impact on us as individuals, we don't really care about it. It don't really bother us. You know what I'm saying? And we got to change that. We got to start working on ourselves and our communities to build each other up and build, you know, a power base. So our children looking into the future can be stronger and have a better life. You know, so that's that when it comes to that. Coming up next, we're gonna talk about the draft, Zion Williamson, free agency. What more moves, if you can call them moves, are the Lakers gonna make because Anthony Davis was handed to them? But whatever. In the motherfucking Miami Heat. Ooh! I'm so mad at Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. This Tyler Hero dude better be better than Luka Doncic. I'm telling you, he better blow me the fuck away. He better blow me the fuck away, bro. But I got a feeling he gonna be another Tyler Johnson. And we just wasted another year in the draft. And Miami just is not gonna get it right until Pat Riley retire. You know what I'm saying? We not gonna find, and even then, we not gonna find a great. It's almost like they starting to mirror the Dolphins. And everybody that knows me knows how much I can't stand the Dolphins. So, yeah, that coming up on the next segment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as much as it dreads me to cover these sorry-ass Lakers and these bronze sexuals, you know, they are really the only team in the NBA right now making moves in the offseason. So I guess I'll talk about it. AD signed there. I'm not going to say he signed there. He was strong-armed by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and forced into signing with the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, like I said before, it makes sense for him. It don't make sense for a Kawhi or a KD, but it makes sense for AD. Whatever. They talking about getting D'Angelo Russell back again. To me, that's crazy as fuck, bro. D'Angelo Russell is a shoot-first point guard. You know, it's almost like having who's a shoot-first point guard, but not really that great of a shooter and is like overhyped. Shit. One person I could say is definitely James Harden resembled a shoot-first point guard. Oh! A Russell Westbrook basically with a better shot and worse defense is kind of like what D'Angelo Russell is going to be. Like a Russell Westbrook, you know. But Russell Westbrook has better defense and more explosive athletically. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo Russell just has a better shot than him. You know, LeBron, hey, he works good with shooters, so it could be good for him. And LeBron's going to put him in position to score. But Magic Johnson's talking about he's matured and he approved it and all of this bullshit that Magic Johnson's been saying a lot of bullshit. That's another reason why I don't too much like the Lakers now as of recent either. You know, you say, when you have your legends come say bad mouthing the team and all of this, that, and the third because things didn't go 100% right. He traded D'Angelo Russell for Lonzo Ball. Given he didn't know LeBron was going to go there, but he got rid of him for Lonzo Ball who couldn't shoot. Of course, Lonzo Ball is a more, like, if the Lakers were planning on building through the draft and building a team with a young nucleus, I mean, Lonzo Ball could have been serviceable. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he'd have been great. I don't know if he'd ever been along Magic Johnson's mold. I don't know if he's too much cut from that cloth. But Lonzo Ball would have been pretty decent for them. He's a great defender for point guards, you know, or at the guard position, period. You know, he's long and he's quick and he's athletic. You know, he showed that in high school, college, and the NBA. He's long, quick, and athletic. We all know that. You know, he has great court vision. His only knock is shooting. You know, and that's very important for a point guard. And it's like, they traded that now for possibly what I'm not saying that D'Angelo Russell's going there because what they're looking at is Kyrie Irving, in which Kyrie Irving is a couple steps above D'Angelo Russell, and Kyrie Irving can play defense when he wants to, and he's proven. But yeah, D'Angelo Russell wouldn't be too bad. I think Kemba Walker, all of that consideration of Kemba Walker would have been a bad move for them because you got another defensive liability. If that's the case, go get Isaiah Thomas for Denver. It's a whole lot cheaper. But yeah, Kemba, D'Angelo Russell, to me, it's those two things are a toss-up. Like I said, it could be good for them to get D'Angelo Russell, but D-Lo, but I just I'm not in love with that idea, especially since Magic Johnson traded him away for Lonzo Ball, and now he want to talk about him. Oh, he's mature, he's grown, because he played good on another team that ain't have shit, and he basically helped made the playoffs with them. So, but to say that he matured is a long, wide, and far stretch, because he just got caught with marijuana at a New York airport like a month ago, like a month before the season ended. He got caught with that, so he can't be too much more mature than what you're talking about, Magic. So, knock it off. But yeah. Be honest with you, I don't know what the Lakers gonna do. I don't give a fuck. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis alone, that's not enough to win a championship unless you're playing against a weak Eastern Conference team, and some things go your way in the West, because the West still has James Harden on the Rockets. You still have Russell Westbrook and Paul George in OKC, which is formidable, which a lot of people sleep on. But if Russell Westbrook can figure it out and they can get maybe another solid piece, then that team could go to the next level. Kawhi, we don't know where he's going to go at the end of the day. Like I said before, if I were him, I'd go back to Toronto. They'll love you forever. You won't have to spend a dime of your own money in that country for as long as you live, probably. So if I'm him, I go back. But if he goes to the Clippers, then the Lakers not even going to be the most talked about team in Los Angeles anymore. So that wiped that out the window. And a lot of people sleep on Sacramento. Sacramento showed a lot, and at one point they was a playoff contending team, and then they just fell apart. I don't know, for whatever fucking reason. The West is tough, man. The West is tough. You got them young guys in Phoenix with Devin Booker leading the show. Oh, and did I mention Zion Williamson is now a New Orleans Pelican to go along with that young nucleus that they traded for it in order to get Anthony Davis in Los Angeles. Brandon Ingram's in New Orleans. We don't know if Julius Randle's going to stay, but that'll be good. They have a lot of guys that would be former teammates would be playing on the same team, so they already have that chemistry and camaraderie. And then you add an explosive talent like Zion Williamson, who's supposed to be like LeBron James, if he's better than advertised, or he at least lives up to a little bit of those expectations that they advertised him as. To me, all of this hype surrounding him, he better have a better season than Luka Doncic had last year. He must, or he's an immediate bust to me. I don't give a fuck what they say. I don't care what the GM says. I don't care what the owner says. I don't care what Zion say. All of the hype surrounding you, the reason why you went number one, just like all of the hype surrounding Lonzo, bro, you got to do better than the rookie of the year from last year, period. But that's that when it comes to that. Looking around the NBA, you got Jimmy Butler talking about going to the Rockets and signing with them. Like I say, the West ain't no cakewalk. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis, just because they two are the best at their position, don't mean that they're going to walk through the West just because they team up. They need some other pieces, because Kyle Kuzma is suspect, and that whole defensive lineup that they're going to have outside of AD is going to be suspect, because LeBron's defense fell off. Kyle Kuzma defense ain't shit. And who else you got? You know what I'm saying? If you put D'Angelo Russell, his defense ain't shit. So, you're going to have three guys who really can't defend. You know what I'm saying? And two guys that can actually stick defense. That ain't going to work. They're going to have to be a high-scoring team. That's pretty much all I got to say when it comes to that. Miami, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, The Miami Heat piss me off. They don't do nothing in free agency. Pat Riley is still talking about this fucking Dion Waiters guy, in which I cannot stand him. If anybody knows me, I've been talking about how Miami wasted their money on D'Angelo Russell. Now, it's been like 3 years going on like this. That's been a motherfucking waste of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't agree with them giving him money. I felt like they should have let him go after his first contract with them. Like, why are you keeping him? He's been injured almost every year since he's been there. What, they went on a 30-and-something run with him coming back? They was running on testosterone, and they still ain't make the playoffs that year. So Miami has been underachieving year after year. You know what I'm saying? Spoelstra started to look real bad to me. He was starting to look like, you know, the only reason why he even won championships is because of LeBron. And I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why he won is because of LeBron. So, yeah, I don't think he can really coach. You know, unless you give him great players, he can't really coach. You know, but I gave him credit because the system that he designed was all about spacing. And that was an obvious thing when you got the two slashers like D-Wade and LeBron. You got to have spacing. But, yeah, he didn't do enough for Chris Bosh, you feel me, his game. Chris Bosh had to make the changes to his game on himself, becoming more of an outside shooter and a better defender. But they just handed Spoelstra a championship. But, like, Pat Riley just been giving him doo-doo to work with. Bam Adebayo, he's giving you a bright spot. Josh Richardson, he's still on his, is he still on his rookie deal? Yeah, I think he's still on his rookie deal. I think this is the last year of it. But he's been on and off. And Justice Winslow is completely suspect. When they were drafting him, I texted one of my friends at the time, before they even drafted Justice Winslow. To me, that was right after LeBron left. I said, this is the only guy in the draft at the small forward position. You know, I was believing in the hype too. He played for Duke, just like Zion, was a lefty just like Zion. And there was high praise about his defense and his offensive ability to drive the lane and score and whatever. And I think that was the year Duke won the national championship. So there was a lot of talk being made about Justice Winslow. So I'm like, okay, that could be the guy who plays LeBron. We draft Justice Winslow. I'm happier than a fat bitch at the Golden Corral. You know what I'm saying? And Justice Winslow gets there, and for like 2 seasons, is a complete bum. Well, no, I won't say for 2 seasons, complete bum. 1 year, I think like the first year with him and Josh Richardson, they did all right in the playoffs. But Justice Winslow became a bum in that Toronto series, in which Whiteside went out for like 1 game and he didn't show up for shit. So, and for the rest of the playoffs, he didn't show up for shit. And then a few seasons later, he didn't show up in the Philly series. You know, so Justice Winslow's been a complete wash to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? It only take you, from the day that you draft a rookie, 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years, if they ain't showing you all-star caliber potential, get rid of them. If they ain't even showing you that they're a consistent supplementary part, get rid of them. And they have not shown none of that outside of Josh Richardson having his little games here and there. You know what I'm saying? All of the rest of the young guys that they get on that team ain't been shit, and they have to trade them away. Like Tyler Johnson, like James Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to trade these guys away because they could wind up being trash. You feel me? Hassan Whiteside got this big-ass contract, and they ain't do shit. He let Joel Embiid shine on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been a complete embarrassment. And, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, you think you're going to replace Dwayne Wade with this white boy out of, what fucking school he went to? Kentucky? You know, he wasn't even really was the best player on his team. I don't even think he was really the best player on his team. He could have been, but I don't think he was. I'll say this in his defense, though. I seen him play a little bit. He got a nice little shot. His shot mechanics look smooth. So, maybe. I don't know, man. I just don't like it, though. I don't like that as a replacement for Dwayne Wade. I don't like that as a replacement for the franchise player. You know what I'm saying? The guy who's carried Miami for over a decade. I don't like this guy coming in and replacing him because he doesn't have that type of skill level or that type of potential, superstar potential that D Wade has had. And it's not just because he's a white boy, but it's because he doesn't have that athleticism. He doesn't have that craftiness. Because Luka Doncic is a white guy and he has craftiness. You know what I'm saying? He's not super athletic, but he's crafty. Manu Ginobili, crafty. You know what I'm saying? What you don't have in athleticism, you got to make up for in your craftiness. And I have to be able to see it. I have to be able to see it in college. I have to be able to see it like somewhat translate. In order for it to translate to the NBA, I have to be able to see it at some point in your basketball career, whether it be high school or college. You know what I'm saying? Especially in college, though, because that's right before you get to the NBA. So I have not seen it, and I don't think it's there, but his shot might save him. If he's a 35 to 36% shooter, you know, coming straight out the gate, that might save him. He might be like Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson don't flash you or amaze you or wow you with his athletic ability, but his shooting is so great, you know, it make you think in your mind he could lead a team like that. You feel me? So, yeah, but that's what's been really grinding my gears with Miami, you feel me? Like, they get this Tyler Hero guy, and he better be magnificent, boy, because I've been really sick of Pat Riley these past couple of years. You know, a lot of people don't want to say it, like I say, because he the Don, and blah, blah, blah. He bought us our first 3 championships. I don't give a fuck, bro. It's about what have you done for me lately, okay? The NBA is a business, all right? It's a business. It's in the business of pleasing fans, okay? That's how they get butts in them seats, and that's how they sell tickets to season ticket holders. All right, that's how they market the franchise. I seen that when I went to the parade and LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh drove out on that float and just did that one flyby and flew back into the arena, and they got back to the season ticket holders. You feel me? They ain't want to participate in the fanfare of being in the parade, the championship parade. You know what I'm saying? They just did they one little lap, went back in, and that was it. You feel me? The whole parade, probably them riding up and down the street, probably lasted for 45 minutes. Took us 2 hours to fight through that traffic. Took us 3 hours to fight out of that traffic just for 45 minutes of watching LeBron James and D Wade pass by on the floor. I don't even know if I got the video saved still of that parade. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was crazy. And like, that's why I say, like, I don't have no remorse for these players, bro. Ain't nothing about me feel sorry for them, bro. They getting paid millions of dollars. They must win, okay? If you don't win, you get traded. You get somebody else in there young and talented and who could develop into a great player. That's just how I look at it. You feel me? But yeah, Pat Riley fucking up. Lonzo too. Because that's his little sidekick. You know what I'm saying? They need to get it together. All right. New movies coming out. Well, one movie that came out already was Men in Black with Tessa Thompson and your boy Thor from Avengers. That movie look like it's gonna be trash. I'm not gonna waste my money on watching it. They don't got Will Smith in it, so fuck it. Aladdin was gonna be trash. I knew from the start, bro, because Will looked weird. Like I said, Jasmine and Aladdin actually don't look like they're from the Middle East. They look like they're Hispanic. The Lion King is coming up. I know this nostalgia thing. Like, I feel like we're in the 90s again with all these fucking movies coming out. You know what I'm saying? Only thing they gotta do is release another Back to the Future movie and boom, we back in the 90s. Like, everybody's trying to play on this nostalgia feel, even down to the video games with Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out, and instead of them calling it Modern Warfare 4, they're just calling it Modern Warfare. You know, like, this gotta stop us trying to relive the 90s. We have to reinvent and be innovative today. Like, all of the 90s was good. It was the golden era of music, golden era of television, movies and everything. And that's a lot of reasons for that is black culture. A lot of reasons why 90s was such a sparkling, glimmering moment in history was because of black culture. I'm just being honest about it. Like, it is, and it isn't that crazy, and that's so ironic that the era that was an impetode of America's greatness as a country was the era in which black people really made their mark in this culture as being such great beings with so much talent. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was popping. Will Smith just became popping. Denzel Washington was popping. Like, we was everywhere. We were everywhere. Television, movies, music. We was all over the place. Tupac, Biggie. Everywhere we were popping, bruh. In America's society, in pop culture, we were at our biggest and brightest. Michael was still alive. You know, it was amazing. And they're trying to recreate that, but kind of leave the black culture out of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made that whole time great. You feel me? Like, it's like everything in this country. You know, they steal it from us after we done made it cool and we made it hot, and they try to reuse it and repurpose it, you know, like the Gods of Egypt movie with this whitewashing cast. But another movie that's coming out, it was like a Bonnie and Clyde movie. I think Jordan Peele's making it. I don't know if he's the director. I don't think he's the director, but the guy from Get Out and I forget the name of that girl. She got a weird Issa Rae is in this new movie. And I want y'all to look at the trailers and go see the movie when it come out. It's Queen and Slim. I believe that's the name of the movie, Queen and Slim. And it's like a movie about like what happens when a black man is tired of the police brutalizing him and trying to kill him every second, and he finally takes power into his own hands and shoots the cop, and now he's on the run with his ride or die, like Bonnie and Clyde style. Like, that movie look like it's gonna be fire. It like it's gonna be fire. And I kind of like the movies that, you know, the Get Out guy, I forget his name. I think he's British or something like that. But I like the movies that he's taking on. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like I say, man, I love to see young black men and women getting money. And I especially love it like when we do impactful shit. You feel me? And that movie is going to be very impactful. It's really going to bring about like thoughts in our mind. Like, damn, like we need to be focused on other things other than what we focus on. Like all of us going out to the clubs, females just wanting to twerk all day long, dudes just wanting to waste their money on frivolous shit. You feel me? Instead of investing into stuff that build us up and training ourselves, like how to use a weapon and stuff like that to defend ourselves, not to just go out there and shoot aimlessly and do dumb shit, but on how to defend ourselves and knowing our rights and knowing the law and remaining calm underneath these situations. You feel me? We go out there and we trick off our money on dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Look, a man do everything for a woman and a woman do a lot for a man. But right now in our culture, in the black culture, we don't see a lot of us building each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't see a lot of it. We see some of it, but we don't see enough, in my idea, and not in my idea, but in my opinion, compared to all of the negative shit we see tearing each other down. Like, as soon as some black successful guy do something great, here come a million other black people trying to tear him down and throw stones at him and shit like that on top of the system trying to fuck him up. You know, then you got, you know, what possibly could be his family imploding on him because, you know, like I say, we ain't healed from slavery, segregation, and all of the other stuff that we went through in this country. So it's like we got to play defense 100% of the time, and I think that's like fucked up. But we still managed to overcome, and that's what's so great about our spirit. But that movie is just gonna be like, to me, is going to be very impactful in a sense that it's showing like, you know, black people, like, I think like all movies are somewhat a play on reality, and they sometimes spark ideas in people's minds. I'm not necessarily saying that black men should take justice into their own hand, but like I'm tired of us seeing us as victims a lot of the time too. So I'm just gonna leave that right there where it's at. You feel me? Take from that what you will. Yeah. But Gucci Mane got a new album, Trash, Delusions of Grandeur. It's trash. Trust me, I previewed it on Spotify, and it's trash. Gucci, like, you 40 years old, bro. Like, grow up. Knock it off. You know, we don't want to hear about the trap and you having more money than other dudes. Like, he even said a line in one of his songs like, oh, my beef ain't getting crushed like Meek and Drake because, you know, too much blood out here in these streets or some goofy shit. Like, bro, you 40 years old, dog. Like, knock it the fuck off, bro. Like, at least 2 Chainz, I can respect him because he's funny. You know what I'm saying? He 40 and he talk still kind of trap shit, but he say it in a funny kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he like that old head on the block that always still cracking jokes. You know he's a dope dealer. You know he done been through some stuff like that, some real shit, but he's still cracking jokes and he keeping a light mood. You feel me? Like, he keep it light. Like, Gucci, I know you done got on the Jenny Craig and you gotta go on this prison workout plan, and you got a rock hard body. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, tone that shit down, bro. And, you know, you're married, you're 40, you got kids, probably grown kids or getting close to being grown. You're gonna be a granddad in a few years. Come on. Do the smart thing like Jay, like Nas, and like so many other older rappers now, and growing up in their music, growing up with them. You know, or at least turn it more lighter. You feel me? Like, even T.I., he ain't talking about the trap no more, and he the one who came out with trap music. You feel me? So, yeah. You got Rick Ross, another old dude, got a new song out called Act the Fool. The song's fire, but Rick Ross, he from Miami, so older dudes in Miami, like, and he was never that guy to me that only talked about trap shit. You feel me? Rick Ross, if you listen closely to a lot of his music too, he talk about hustling and he talk about entrepreneurship as well. So he kind of got a different little take. He got a little bit of Gucci Mane in him, but he kind of taking a more, you know, educated approach to the trap, because we all know Rick Ross wasn't really about that like he said he was, because he was a correctional officer, and, you know, he brings that educated element to trap type style music and stuff like that. Chris Brown got the new No Guidance album out. Chris Brown makes so much fucking music, I can't even keep up with him. But I know he got that No Guidance with off of that, I think it's Indigo, or I don't know, maybe the album called No Guidance. Like I say, he make too much music for me to keep up with. But I heard a song with him and Drake. I don't know if that's old or new or in between, but it was alright. And he, like I say, Chris Brown always makes alright music, but he makes so much of it, it's hard to keep up with. Lil Nas X dropped a new album. I gotta listen to it. I feel like he's gonna be like one of those one-hit wonders. He ain't gonna be able to top that Old Town Road, but he's gonna make a couple other songs that's gonna be okay. Gold Link's back. He got another album or another song out. It's a conscious song, I know that. I can't remember the name of it, but I know it sounded conscious. Yeah, man, I just, like, ain't nothing really wowing me since Nipsey passing right now, you feel me? Like, I'm waiting for another Kendrick album to drop, you know, another J. Cole album to drop, you know, the Drake's Championship Pack, one song, you feel me? He only had 2 songs on it, so one song was straight, but the other song was like, for me. Other than that, it's not really much to talk about in music for me. I know for a lot of people, they follow a lot of these newer generation artists, and they probably know more about this stuff than I do. But like I'm a guy that if a song sounds good, or if an album is really, really good, like Rich the Kid. Oh, Rich the Kid. His new album that he just dropped this year, it has some good songs on it, like Save That and stuff like that. But that's old news. Yeah, but this new generation of artists, like I say, man, if they ain't making no good music, if I don't hear that thing and that thing ain't popping, bro, you feel me? I don't really care for it, bro. You can tell me 1,000,001 times like that I'm with the gang, I'm with the mob bullshit, that everybody be singing and they be playing that shit on the radio. That's the most annoying song in the world to me. With the going on in the background all the time. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. And as soon as somebody starts singing that shit in front of me, I'm in the gang, I want to slap the fuck out of them, bro. That's the most annoying, like that. Like, that's the type of music I be, that like, just really kind of like get on my last fucking nerve because it's annoying. And, you know, but it's sticking in a lot of people's head and a lot of people sing it all the goddamn time and I can't see why. You feel me? But, you know, I could see why it would get stuck in your head. Let me tell you that, but I could see why it would get stuck in your head because it's one of those songs that's just so annoying that it'll get stuck in your head. But I don't know how people like it. You know? And I'm not being a hater because, like I say, I love to see young black men and women getting money, but that song is annoying. That song is fucking annoying. And I just gotta call a spade when I hear some annoying shit. You feel me? I thought Kodak was annoying when he first came out, but then he came out with other music that was like a vibe. It was really vibing, so, you know what I'm saying? Kodak got a thumbs up from me, but I would still critique him to this day. I don't give a fuck if he from Florida or not. You know, look, XXXTentacion. I didn't like him when he first came out. I didn't like, what's the boy who just went to jail for murder? YNW Melly. I didn't like him when he came out. But then I listened to some of his music. Some of his music was more tolerable. You feel me? So, you know, like, after a while, they grew on me. But I don't care what the fuck you say. I don't even know who that artist is. I don't want to know who they is. That song is going to annoy me for the rest of my life, and I don't want to hear it ever again after this year. Okay? That's how I feel about that. Yeah. That's what's really going on Crash Culture. That's pretty much a show, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, we're gonna be doing this separate from the YouTube channel. Like some of the topics we're gonna be covering on here, we're not gonna be having time to cover on YouTube because YouTube, I want to keep it short and entertaining or interesting. And you know, we're gonna have the Crash Culture TV and the Crash Culture the podcast show, you know, separate but the same at the same time, because some of the subjects we're gonna have, you know, talked about by me specifically on here, you know. But the channel is gonna be me with my co-host, also with other people of me and him, or me interviewing them. You know what I'm saying? Interviewing whoever wants to come on and talk about whatever subject that they have expertise in. Right now, like, I want to talk to people that got like businesses or something that you really like specialize in. You know, something that you know a lot of knowledge about it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to have random people come on and tell me their life story about bullshit that nobody care about. Come on and talk about your hair and nails business and how many clients you got coming to you trying to get the homie discount. You know what I'm saying? Because we can all relate to that. All entrepreneurs can relate to that. I have so many people come to me trying to get free artwork done, and that's just not how life works. I got to pay bills. I had to pay for the knowledge to be able to learn how to do that, just like you. And I'm pretty sure that these females had to some way exchange time, which is basically a form of payment, in order to learn how to do these other females' hair. And, you know, or talk about your hip hop, you know, career, if you aspire to be a rapper, or your singing career, if you aspire to be a singer. Just come ready with a talent and a topic that you want to talk about that pertains to that talent or something that you just know a lot about. You know, so yeah, this is Crash Culture, the podcast show, and I'm your host, Bam Bambino. Otherwise, Bam. Holla at y'all later.